when the insurgents claim that their violence in this country, most of which affects Afghans, of course, is really about foreign troops, yesterday, the election day, demonstrated that wasn't true. This is really for them about power, and it's the power to turn the clock back, to prevent democracy happening, to prevent the Afghan people determining their own future. Well, yesterday we saw that millions of Afghans want to determine their own future, and we saw, of course, in 2,500 candidates that many, many people want to be part of leading that future. And so from that point of view, I think we had a good day yesterday, but in terms of the election as a whole, we'll have to let the process complete itself. I think, let's not forget, this was in effect a mid-term election. Last year, people in this country were electing their president, and this is a presidential system of government. So this was, in those terms, in basically a mid-term election. And to be candid, in my country, the United States, in many other countries throughout the alliance, about a 35% turnout is about what one expects. So, I don't think we should forget that as we look at this election, and particularly, of course, given the really challenging circumstances in which it was happening, with, of course, violence throughout the country, all the security problems, all the logistic problems that Afghanistan faces, ballots being taken up on the backs of donkeys to some outlying areas. A turnout of that kind, I think, is pretty impressive and shows that, again, as I said, millions of Afghans are engaged in the political process and want a democratic future. Absolutely. What we're trying to do is build an Afghanistan that the Afghans themselves are taking responsibility for. This is about the future of the Afghans and, of course, a country that is strong enough to resist the threat from terrorists and thus becoming a safe haven for attacks on NATO countries and others. That's our primary purpose in being here. The elections demonstrated first that the Afghan security forces have the professional capability and the reach throughout the country to really provide security on a day we knew the insurgents were really going to try and disrupt, and they weren't able to do so. But second, it showed that the Afghan people have the same agenda as us. They wish to take control of their own future. They want that to be a democratic future, and of course a democratic future means an Afghanistan with the values that we share and resilient enough to deal with the threats that they face and which in the end would face us. So, absolutely. Yesterday was an important milestone, and the whole election is an important milestone for all of us.